Hi, it's Tommy Oldham here, and today I'm looking ahead to this week's Euro 2024 draw. The finals that has been widely eagerly anticipated amongst the fan base, and we'll have a look at who England could get, the other potential draws, potential group of deaths, a quick glance at the stadiums and the qualification route, and a bit of a summary of how the playoffs work. After the recent World Cup being winter in Qatar, and the Euro 2020 being played all over Europe, more importantly, was played in smaller, restricted capacities. A lot of people are very excited about this summer's European Championships. It's in Germany, probably the best country within Europe for watching football. Modern stadiums, beers on the terrace, big fan parks, great rail links. And it's already been shown that there's been massive demands with over 1 million tickets already sold ahead of the finals. Also, a few facts about the European Championships. It was first held in France in 1960. It used to be 8 teams. In 1996, it went to 16 teams. And in 2016, it was expanded to 24 teams. Germany and Spain have the most titles with 3. Italy, the current holders, have won it twice. England have reached the semi-finals in 1996 and the final in 2020. 2 of the countries who previously won it, the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia, no longer exist, having obviously broken up into many smaller countries. England themselves were looking to go one step further and win the European Championships in Germany after being finalists last year, losing to Italy on penalties. It's highly anticipated that England will do well and are definitely one of the pre-tournament favourites, with a strong, squalid, good young squad mixed in with experience as well. Obviously, England qualified with ease. They were unbeaten. They won 6 and drew 2. 2 of the draws, one being away to Ukraine, and the final one with Macedonia when they'd already qualified. The wins against Italy in the opening game and at Wembley basically helped make sure England win the driving seat. So without further ado, let's now have a look at each of the seeds and the countries involved. So in Pot A, top seeds will be Germany, the host, Portugal, France, Spain, Belgium, and of course England. What makes the seeds interesting this time is they're not using FIFA rankings and previous tournament experience, something that in the past doesn't always reflect on current form. And I think it's good. It's gone off the teams of the amount of points accumulated during the actual 2024 qualifying, which, to be fair, I think it's a good idea because it throws the draw wide open. Obviously, although Germany are the host, they haven't had the best times in the last couple of seasons, and morale amongst them is low at the moment, especially for a host nation. But don't get me wrong, when all that goes out the window when it comes to the finals under new management and the Nagelsmann, they'll still be fired up and not to be ruled out. Portugal have got a cracking little good team of players coming through. They still have experience in Fernandes. Could it be Ronaldo's last stance, especially after his disappointing exit at the World Cup in 2022. France are just blessed with such a squad at the moment and probably going to the tournament as favourites. Spain, again, have got a good core of young players coming through. They're not quite at the levels of the teams of 2010 and the winners in 2012, but there's still one not to be knocked back. Belgium, again, have been underachievers over the last 10 years or so, with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, company. They've not quite lived up to expectations, and that trophy people believe they've been good enough to go for. They've never really caught a sniff and they've always gone out. And finally, obviously, England, to be fair, as I've said, we've got a good, very strong, solid young squad. Last time round, we reached the finals, and this time for me, for Southgate, he's got to go for it. He's got to go out and win it, and I don't see why we can't. Obviously, the players are there. It's just a case of them clicking and getting on with it. Pot 2, we have Hungary, who played at the last Euro 2020 Championships and in Euro 2016. In recent years, their national side has seen a bit of a resurgence. we have Turkey, who, to be fair, went into the last Euros with high expectations and one of the disappointing sides. Romania are at Euro 2024. They last played at Euro 2016. Their best European Championships performance was at Euro 2000. We have Denmark, who was semi-finalist at the last Euros, but disappointing, underwhelmed in Qatar 2022. Albania, who's making their second appearance, their first European Championships appearance was at Euro 2016. And finally, Austria, again, who held the European Championships in 2008 alongside Switzerland and played at Euro 2016. So now we're on to Pot 3. And the first team in Pot 3 is Netherlands, who need no introduction. They were winners in 1988, semi-finalists in 1992, 2000 and 2004. Obviously, they didn't actually qualify for the Euro 2016, but did return at the last edition in Euro 2020. We then have Scotland. It's back-to-back European Championships then after a long period of them not qualifying for any sort of major tournament, and they'll be looking to improve on their last performance. We then have Croatia, again, a quarter-finalist in 1996 and at Euro 2008. They were World Cup finalists in 2018 and semi-finalist in Qatar 2022. We then have Slovenia, and it's their first European Championships since 2000. Obviously, they were part of the former Yugoslavia teams along with Croatia. We then have Slovakia, who qualified also in 2016 and would have got to the knockout stages as the third best ranked team going out to Germany, and they qualified in 2020 and went out the group stage. They were actually ranked as the worst third place teams, didn't progress. And then finally we have Czechia, or as used to be called the Czech Republic now. They did win it as Czechoslovakia in 1976. They were finalists in Euro 1996, losing to Germany, and they were also semi-finalists in Euro 2004 as well. Obviously, they have qualified for most international tournaments, so they are an historic name. And last tournament, they did play in the same group as England, and they went out in the quarterfinals. And the final pot, we have the current holders, Italy, who struggled to qualify since they last won the European Championships in 2020. They failed to qualify for the World Cup last year. Euro 2020 was actually their second European Championships win. We then have Serbia. Now, it's the first time Serbia have qualified as an actual independent country. No, it was Yugoslavia. They were runners-up in 1964 and 1968. Many expected Serbia was Yugoslavia were the favourites for Euro 1992 before the country obviously got suspended due to the outbreak of war and the initial breakup. But as Serbia and Montenegro, they did qualify for Euro 2000, but since they sort of broke up from Montenegro as well, they haven't. So this is going to be their first qualifying at the European Championships as an independent Serbia. They did play at the World Cup last year, though. We now have Switzerland. Switzerland's best record in the European Championships is reaching the last 16. They did jointly host the tournament in 2008 with Austria. And the next three players will come from the potential playoffs, which I'm going to go into in a bit because it's a bit of a complicated system. There will be 3 playoff winners from 3 different pathways. So obviously there is the playoffs for the final 3 places in the fourth seeds. If you don't understand this how it is, so obviously there's 3 paths and they're based on the Nations League rankings. 2 games to qualify, both semi-finals and finals are one-legged games. Obviously the higher ranked side gets home advantage. Group winners in Nation League B and C can't play teams from higher divisions. That's big for the benefit of winning the groups. In less than 4 teams in a group, automatically the spaces are taken from the teams from the lower leagues. So Estonia, best ranked winner from League D, are paired with the League A playoff teams in this case. So only 2 League A teams failed to qualify automatically, which was Poland and Wales. So 1 extra team from League B joins them. The the highest ranked teams play on, as I said, so Wales are at home, but if they win and play playoff in the final, it'd be Poland. If Estonia beat Poland, then Wales are at home. Obviously, because of what went on with Russia, this is why Norway didn't qualify, because they took away the results but didn't include the lower ranked team because there was only 3 teams in that group. So without further ado, let's now have a look at the semi-final draw. So let's now have a look at the draw. So the first pathway is Poland for Estonia, Wales for Finland. Obviously, should we get to the final, Poland will be the highest ranked team. We then have Israel for Iceland in the playoff 1, and Bosnia for Ukraine in playoff 2, and obviously the winners of them will face each other. And in path C, we have Georgia for Luxembourg, and then Greece for Kazakhstan. And the 3 finalists from that will qualify for the Euro 2024 playoffs, and will be, obviously we'll know when the draw is done where each of them winners from the groups will get into. Obviously, as we know, UEFA don't make things easy. Obviously, tournaments, you're going to see groups of death, favourable draws. Now, sometimes, let's get an easy draw, but sometimes all these teams are not easy. We've made hard work of it in the past. Obviously, Panama, we've got the job we've done quickly, but teams raise their game against England. It's their big moment to shine, and the fact 3 teams can go through, teams know that 1 win and a draw could be enough to see them get into the later stage. Now, from Pot B, the favourable draw would probably be Albania. The toughest one would be Denmark or Hungary, in my opinion. Turkey would not be an easy game, nor would Austria, but Pot 3, Netherlands has to be the hardest one, as would be Croatia. Scotland would be a derby feel, and I won't lie, I would love us to have Scotland. I just think you want derby games, you want the international banter and stuff that you don't always get. Obviously, a favourable one would probably be Slovenia or Slovakia. Some will say Scotland because we did beat them comprehensively. But, like I said, for them, their big moment in the finals, allowed support, it wouldn't be as easy as people think. Now, Pot D, Italy, the tough one, ideally you want to avoid. Same with Serbia. Switzerland are no pushovers. But obviously, if we were to get Poland or Wales from Path A through the playoffs, that too would be a difficult one. Pathway B, Israel, Iceland, Bosnia, Ukraine. Well, we drew with Ukraine recently. Iceland, we still have horror stories from Euro 2016, but they've had a very bad qualifying campaign. Now, Path C will be more favourable. Georgia, Luxembourg, Greece and Kazakhstan. So ideally, you want anyone from the third path or the second if you want to. But I won't complain. From a perspective, I'd take Scotland. Someone from the final Path C, myself. And from Pot 2, let's have Romania. Someone I've never seen us play before. But you know what? There's all sorts of scenarios that could actually happen. We just have to wait and see what the draw happens. So let's not forget, between now, the draw and the ball being kicked, it often happens, players getting injured and stuff. So, who knows? So here's the video I shared last year of the 10 stadiums being used for next year's European Championships. As we go to Germany begins tonight, a look at the 10 grounds that have been used to host the Euro 2024 Championships. As you can see, all of them are relatively big grounds. That's one thing, Germany blags so many great stadiums. But here's a few. Obviously, Olympic Stadium Berlin, that will host the final, host 70,000. It's the home of Hertha Berlin. It has held the Champions League final previously, and Union Berlin have played Champions League games there as well. Cologne, the stadium holds 47,000 and it's home to FC Cologne. It's also held a Europa League final previously. Dortmund Stadium doesn't need introduction. Now, its actual capacity is over 80,000, but it'll be 66,000, so I don't think the standing areas will be used during the Euros itself. Obviously, it's home to Borussia Dortmund, the famous yellow brick wall, and it has held the UEFA Cup final previously. Dusseldorf, they play in the second division, Fortuna Dusseldorf. It's a Dusseldorf arena. It holds 47,000 and it held the games in the UEFA European 1988 Championships. Actually, they held at its former stadium, the Rheinstadion. One of my favourite grounds in Germany, Frankfurt Arena, hosts my German side, Eintracht Frankfurt. It says 46,000. I know it has recently gone up to over 50,000, but again, it depends if the standing areas are allowed. It's also held the UEFA's Women's Cup final previously, and obviously it was used during World Cup 2006 as a quarter-final venue. The Glenskirchen is home to second division Schalke. It has a capacity of 50,000. It has held the Champions League final previously as well. Volkspark Stadion is Hamburg. It's a capacity of 50,000. Again, Hamburg currently playing in Germany second division, has held a Europa League final before. Leipzig Stadion. Now Leipzig are the only team from the old East Germany that's hosting games. It's the biggest stadium in the East. It holds 42,000. It's home to Red Bull Leipzig. Rasenball, Red Bull, however you want to call it. And obviously, then got Munich, it's Allianz Arena, which is home to Bayern Munich. Also, for a bit was home to 1860 Munich. It holds 67,000, and it will hold the opening game of the tournament as well. Then you've got the Stuttgart Arena, which holds 54,000. It has held a European Cup final previously as well in 1988 and hosted the 2006 World Cup playoff. And that's it for the stadiums. Some nice looking grounds. Most of them are big capacities, but as I said, there will be demand for tickets as well. And of course, when it's an international tournament, I will be doing the Euro 2024 sticker album. And that completes this video for Follow England Away. There will be a comprehensive review and look back at the draw further in the week. So keep well, and I'll see you on the terraces.